But why are people bashing Auntie Kemi? She did not lie now. I know she has got this bad blood with most Nigerians due to her stance on the immigration and all, and the whole Britain is her home and all that. But we've all called where we found peace our home, and we've tried our best at some point to protect that home. So you can't blame her. But let's tell ourselves the truth. She did not lie. She no lie. I'm happy she's making people see this part. Yes, I attended two boarding schools. The second one was more like an butter setting where we had cleaners who clean our toilets. We even eat chicken at some point. That was because it's a private school. The first one looked like the prisons in the UK. I've never been to the prison yet, but then we watch movies and we see the settings of prisons abroad. I'm telling you, my boarding school back then was more like a prison yard. Oops. Let me say their prison settings there is better. Well, I don't know the idea behind making boarding schools like that, like a correctional place. Gosh, I was traumatized at some point. You don't want to know the kind of toilets we washed. In fact, you don't want to see the kind of toilets we washed back then. Is it the weed? We clear grass during Labor Days or inspection. This palm had blisters or boil, or what should I call them? Once it's healing, another one pops out. Then is it the beans we ate? Is it the beans that I knew kokoro, then the beans beetle in boarding school? There's no way you eat that beans porridge without seeing the beetles in it. The tea that look like, oh God, I don't even want to describe the tea. And fetching water from one long distance to another, and the iron, that metallic bucket was recommended then because the plastic buckets won't last. So we use iron buckets then. This hand, you see red lines because you carry water from one long distance to another on your head. The discipline, coincidentally, I was picking out some weeds at the back of my house and I thought of boarding school and I laughed. I even said to myself, I didn't know if that affected me in a good way. I don't know, honestly. Yeah, it was discipline then, but I can't say if it had a good effect on me. I know I can manage. I don't know if I got that from boarding school, and I can manage my food. I know I can manage hunger and all. Yes, the education was superb, but knowing what I know now, I don't think I'll send my kids to that kind of place. She didn't lie. I experienced everything she mentioned.
I went to a secondary school. It was called a federal government girls' school in a place called Shagamu. And that was like being in prison. When I tell the stories about using a machete and having, because I know lawnmowers, that's the place that I'm talking about, having to fetch buckets of water. And that was the first time that I was away from home, away from my family. And I wasn't just looking at...
This is a boarding school?
Yes, it's a federal boarding school. And it was
You
very...
You shared a dormitory with other girls?
We're about 150, I think. 20 to 30 in a room, and there were 6 rooms.
And so the machete is for cutting the grass.
Yes, cutting the grass.
Explain why were you cutting the grass?
Well, because who else is going to cut the grass? It's just, it's the
grass grows and you have machetes to cut it.
Exactly. They're not, this is a federal school where this is the old grammar school system sort of fading out, and everyone who passed an exam and got a certain score got to go to a federal school, and this was more socialism. So they sprinkled people around. They didn't want one school getting all the best results. They would mix people about. So you could end up getting sent thousands of miles away to a boarding school, at the extreme end of the country. So I was lucky. I didn't get sent too far away, but I was very far from home. I'd never been away from home before. And it was like Lord of the Flies. The students were in control. We needed to look after the school grounds. So using a machete, having to clean toilets with no running water. I'm not going to go into the description of that, but it is very, very, very grotty.